Last winter, I watched in horror as the tube train doors trapped the pom-pom of my bobble hat and carried it off into the darkness of the underground.
These two.
So you were getting on the tube, or how did it... Tell us more.
Well, the tube...
I'll rephrase it. Tell us anything you can think of.
OK, fine. The London Tube Network opened in the 1860s.
All right, I'll rephrase it. Specifically about this story.
Yeah. I was trying to get on a train, I was late, and I always run head forwards. Because it's the most aerodynamic way.
Yes.
I didn't want to miss this train because I'd have to wait 2 minutes for the next one. Right. So I was willing to take any sort of risk.
Which door were you going to run through? The double door?
The living room door. It was a double door,
right.
You know.
I enjoyed him in Harry Potter.
Double door.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
I'm there for you, Rob. I'm there for
Thank you.
backup.
I thought I was having a stroke.
Now, talk us through what happens, actually. It's now trapped.
Yeah, the hat's trapped. Because the doors are shut, I, perhaps foolishly, or perhaps sensibly, you be the judge, but I'll have to say what it is first. I sort of recoil.
Yeah.
And that removes the hat. And then I go... There's the hat hanging there.
And off it
I
goes.
thought, at that point, there's no point putting my head back in.
Well, look, David, I've got a bobble hat down here.
Oh, may I keep it?
Would you like to put it on?
Yes.
And try and reenact for us?
Let's see you run.
Yeah. OK.
OK.
They'll have to redo my hair after this. That'll be an hour of your lives you're not getting back.
Right.
OK, all right.
These are
So
my doors.
Yeah.
OK? How fast are you going to run at me?
Slower than you think.
OK. OK.
Yeah.
Ready?
You will be able to see me coming.
So you... Did you just wink at me?
Yes, I
Are you flirting with me?
did. I've never really known what flirting is, but let's see what happens and then we'll know.
Train's going to go now.
Okay,
All the
ready?
passengers are on board. Please stand clear of the doors. Oh, hang on! This is my only speaking bit. Let me say it.
Will you cue me when you finish your monologue?
I'll wink at you. Stand clear of the doors. Stand clear.
I mean, obviously, in reality, I was hurrying down the escalators. I wouldn't like people to
there.
think
Go
that
up
I...
there.
Go up there. There's stairs there.
That's not how the underground works.
Stand clear of the doors. Stand clear of the doors.
Yeah.
You've missed it. It's gone. It's gone. Try again.
Again.
The next one.
You've got to listen. Stand clear of the doors. The doors are closing. Stand clear of the doors. The doors are closing. The doors are closing.
Yes? Exactly.
Lee's team, is it true?
No, David seemed to really have to make a lot of effort there to try and get through the tube doors.
Do you think David would run
Head
for
first.
the tube head first?
No, I don't think anyone would.
No.
Yeah, I think it's a lie.
So, they think it's a lie. Were you lying or were you telling the truth?
Well, I was lying.
Yes, it's a lie. David didn't trap his pom-pom in the tube doors.
When I travel by tube, I like to see how many strangers I can make yawn by yawning myself. My record is 9 in one carriage.
David's team.
Well, let's see how good you are at faking a yawn. Oh, that's good. Although I have been speaking, so it's not a test.
Gabby's gone. Gabby's gone.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm feeling a bit.
I yawned earlier when you were talking about it earlier.
That's good, David.
This
Brilliant.
would be great for the trail. Coming up on BBC One. Yeah. Your record was, what was it?
9.
9, and how long a tube journey was that?
I think I started at Cockfosters, and I think I'd ended up at Piccadilly Circus. I remember where I was going, actually.
You started at Cockfosters.
That's the end of the line, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right at the end of the line.
Do you live at Cockfosters?
I live thereabouts.
The reason I'm inquiring about Cockfosters is that obviously it's a well-known station name.
Yes.
Because all of the Piccadilly line trains going in one direction are going to Cockfosters. And I think
going from Cockfosters is
or going from. Obviously, I'm aware that you have to. The same number of trains have to come from there as go to there. Otherwise, they'll end up stockpiling. Now, I'm not denying that many trains emanate from Cockfosters. What I'm thinking, though, is that you were thinking, oh, what tube journey could this have been? And the name Cockfosters came into your head because you've seen it so many times on the display in the station. And that's making me think that you're lying.
When I say to people about that end of the line, people just, it's like it's Brigadoon. It's not, it's there. Yeah. People live there, there are lovely houses.
No. Cockfosters is a fictional place. Like
That's where Fisher lives.
When you yawn, Diane, do you, in order to draw attention to the fact that you're yawning and spread your yawn, more effectively, do you make any noise? Do you just do a...
Yawning isn't the noisiest of...
Oh, you can do it noisy. I do it.
See,
I do it to let...
That's how I yawn. Yeah. My wife loves it.
For the great... That's all. Yawn, like...
That's all yawn.
That's not more! I often say when I yawn. Kill me now! I say when I'm tired.
Diane, one thing that troubles me about this is that you are, because of EastEnders, a very recognisable face.
Yeah.
I would have thought you'd be wanting to...
We yawn.
Not draw... Well, I'm not saying nobody in EastEnders yawns. Certainly the viewers, for one. What I'm saying is that someone who is in the public eye often doesn't want to draw attention to themselves.
But interestingly enough, of course, if you're yawning, you look less like yourself. So it could be a way of not drawing attention to yourself by going...
I don't think, Lee, that anyone...
I genuinely do that. If I'm in a situation, like, where there's... It's not often it happens, but people recognise me, I'll slightly change the shape of my face. I'll sort of go... Are you Lee Mack? I'll go... My name's Fisher. I live in Cockfosters.
So what are you going to say, David?
It could be true. My instinct is that it's not.
I know. I think she was so genuinely enthusiastic when she told it. And if she's only just seen that and it's a lie, then I'm not sure she'd have quite that enthusiasm.
But she is an
Really?
actress.
Yeah.
In
EastEnders...
How very I'm going,
You think it's... So your instinct is it's true, and your instinct is it isn't?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not true. That's my instinct.
Okay, so I'm 2 to 1.
So we're going to say we think it's a lie.
Diane, truth or lie?
It's a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Diane does not see how many strangers she can make yawn when she travels by tube.
I once had to share flip-flops with a friend after losing one of mine on a hike.
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether I lost a flip-flop or a friend.
David's team.
How did that work? What was the system?
Where were you?
We were in Thailand, going to a full moon party, David.
That's not hiking then, is it? They don't hike to a full moon party. I've been to the full moon party. There was no hiking involved.
Yeah. You probably got the bus there, did you?
I did get the bus there. That's a good point.
That's why.
What's a full moon party? Everyone else seems to know.
Well, let's start with the party first. Do you know what that is?
Yes, it's a group of individuals of the same political persuasion, and in totalitarian circumstances, it can become dominant.
There's a certain island in Thailand where every month they have a full moon. The full moon is out and there's a big party on the beach. So we thought we'll go to that. We'll have a bit of that. Me and my friend.
Yeah.
We thought we'd go round the headland. It's only about an hour, they said, to walk around the headland. But we set off in flip-flops. Bad idea.
What time of day?
Oh, midday, probably.
Midday?
Yeah.
But it's a full moon party.
Yeah. You've got to get there early, David.
You're planning to get there at lunchtime and then just wait for dusk.
We thought we'd have a bit of lunch. We'll make a day of it.
Rod, jump to the moment now where you have to share the flip-flops.
Right, so two of us, two flip-flops each. 4 flip-flops, 2 people. That went on really well for about an hour until I lost a flip-flop.
How?
Yeah. Leapt across a rock, waves crashing below, hot, jaggedy rocks, and flip-flop fell in the water. Gone. 3 flip-flops, 2 people. Carried on like that for an hour. My friend going on a few metres in 2 flip-flops, then throwing a flip-flop back to me. I put his flip-flop on with my other flip-flop, and I caught him up. That went on for quite a while, that system.
I'm not clear on that system.
Here it is. This is me, this is him.
Yeah.
He goes forward in his 2 flip-flops.
Yes.
Throws a flip-flop back to me.
Yeah.
I put his flip-flop on, and I catch him up.
This is the exact chat they have in the Welsh football dressing room.
So that system went on well for a while.
Yeah.
Until he throws the flip-flop. I fumble the catch and lose the next flip-flop. Now we're 2 flip-flops, 2 people. So he goes on a few metres in his 2 flip-flops. I wait in bare feet. He throws both flip-flops back to me, and then I catch him up. That goes on quite well for about an hour. Until you never guess what happens. He throws the flip-flop back to me. I fumble it, down it goes. Now we're on 1 flip-flop, 2 people. And then you'll never guess what happened next.
What?
A Dutch bloke came round with 2 shoes on. We then tell him the system that's been going on. He said, well, we won't continue with that. We'll all take 1 shoe each. And we hopped.
Did you make it to the party?
We made it to the beach where the party was.
Yes.
And then we thought, we don't fancy it now.
No.
How did you get back?
Bus. We took the bus that Jamali had took.
The bus.
But what they did was one person got on the bus, the other one walked ahead, then the bus overtook them and he got off the bus and he got on.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rosie? What do you think? Does it strike you as true?
Well, the whole story, Rhod comes across as an idiot. So, yeah, true.
What do you think?
I think it's lies.
Why?
Because this Dutch guy just came from nowhere.
Yeah.
And
I came from Holland.
Maybe that's why it's a lie, because if it was a real Dutch guy, he would be wearing clogs.
Yes, that's right.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What's it going to be, David?
Do I think it's true?
Ask yourself that.
Yes, I do.
Rod, was it true or was it a lie?
It was true.
It's true. Rod did share flip-flops with his friend.
For 1 month, I chose to sleep on the streets rather than talk to the people I was supposed to be living with.
David C.
And at what stage in your life was this?
What stage?
Yes.
Do you mean how old was I?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Age 20.
Whereabouts? Where was it?
Spain.
What made you vacate your house?
There was no house and I never went to it.
You never went there at all?
It was a hotel or hostel thing, you know, not a house. Yeah. I went there, I stood outside.
OK.
Looked at it.
Yeah.
Thought, nah.
So it wasn't the people, it was the...
It was the idea of the people.
You wanted to live alone and were surprised that a hostel didn't afford that possibility.
And you stayed on the street for a whole month.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, bar a couple of nights here or there, yeah.
Did you pull on the other nights? What happened on those?
You're absolutely right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So on those occasions, the thought of other people wasn't quite so loathsome.
Yes.
Where in Spain was this?
It was in Salamanca, and I slept on a bench, right dead centre of a square.
How were you washing your clothes?
I didn't.
Well, how many pairs of pants did you have?
I'm going to say 4, but...
4 for a month without washing them?
I said 4, but it could have been 7.
Well, 7's not enough. You need 28, otherwise you're an animal.
No, but I hate to support your own teammate against you, Lee. If you're going to a place for a month, you might decide that you're not going to take enough underwear to have a fresh pair of pants every day without ever washing them.
How many pairs of pants do you own?
I think I've probably got about... I've got maybe...
Look at you, desperately thinking, was this the right answer? There's no right or wrong. You're amongst friends.
I think I've got about 14 pairs I'm happy with.
Yeah.
And another 4 or 5 that would do at a pinch, and I use the word advisedly.
Predominantly boxers or bikini brief?
Predominantly... I mean, it's interesting that this is what the conversation's going on. Predominantly what I believe is referred to as a sort of trunk.
You favour the trunk?
Yeah.
I think you mean the jockey short. Like a boxer short shape, but tighter.
Look, I'll just take my trousers off and you can look.
I did wash a pair of pants.
Oh, you remember that?
I did wash
It's amazing how these things come back to you.
The reason I chose the middle of the square was because there was a bin lorry that would come round every morning in concentric circles, just spraying from the side of the lorry, hosing down the square. I would stay in the middle, and then I would wash in the bin lorry when it got to the centre. And one day I did wash a pair of pants on the hose on the side of the bin lorry. I did.
Wow.
I did.
So you
Hi, girls. This is my friend Rhod. Would you like a drink?
You put a pair of pants in the way of a bin lorry's hose to wash it.
I used to wash in the bin lorry, well, the tap at the side of the bin lorry, yeah.
So they wouldn't mind you sauntering up to the bin lorry and turning the tap on?
No, they were very amenable, the local bin man, Miguel.
Did
you learn the phrase, can I wash my pants on the side of your bin lorry in Spanish?
Se puede lavarme los... what's underpants in Spanish, Rob?
Pantalonero.
Sí. Pantalonero.
How many pants have you got, Rob?
I was just given a gift. It was my birthday recently, not that you'd know from any response from you. And...
I didn't know you were still alive. What did you get for your birthday?
Oh, sorry, yeah, I got some...
Old man who forgot the story. I got a lovely present anyway. On with the game. Do you remember, Rob, you were telling us a lovely story about your pants? Tell us about your pants.
I got some pants.
Yeah.
Now, Ronan Keating, what do you think?
Yeah, I could see him doing that.
Toff, what about you?
I think it's a completely insane thing to do what you did, so I think you're lying.
There is a lot of detail. I'm going to go true.
You're saying it's true. OK, Rhod. Was it the truth, or was it a lie?
It was a... true!
Yeah.
Insane.
Yes, it's true.
OK. A mistake I made in France meant someone in England got hospitalised.
Please, team.
Have you just learned to read?
Was the mistake you made in the French language?
It's a simple question, Rod. Was it in the French?
Was it in the language of
Right.
the
It's a
French?
simple question with a simple answer.
Right.
Yes, it was.
Can you tell us the mistake you made, please?
The mistake I made got somebody hospitalised. That was the...
I didn't say... No. That's not worthy of the clap. No. What was the mistake?
What was the mistake?
Lee, I'll take it from here. What was the nature of this mistake?
It was a language thing. It was a French-English mix-up. It was a mix-up, a terrible mix-up, language mix-up.
What were you doing in France?
I was on the phone. I was in France. I was working in France, and I was on the phone.
Working in France.
I was on the phone to England, and I made a mistake with my French-English translation.
Who received the mistake?
A girl. A girl.
What was her name?
Anne.
What colour hair does she have?
I don't know. She was on the phone.
So you never met her?
I never met her.
So can you talk us through the incident?
I was asked by someone in France. They said, "Can you talk to somebody in England?"
Why did they ask you to do that?
Because they didn't speak English.
Right. What was the relationship between Anne and the person that had asked you to talk?
Oh, that was Anne's father said, "Can you speak to Anne? She's in England, and we're in France. And ask her what's wrong with her."
How did you know him? What was the relationship?
How did you know him? There's a new angle.
Oh, I knew him. Well, you should have asked. I knew him because I worked in France. I was in a school. I worked in a school. He was the caretaker.
What were you doing in school?
I was teaching English.
Now, his daughter, she's French.
Yes.
She's living in England.
Yeah.
Now.
No, she wasn't living. She was on a very short exchange thing.
Right. Now, in the words of Question of Sport, what happened next?
He came to me, he said, can you talk to my daughter, Anne? She's ill, she's in England. She couldn't speak to the family she was with. That's the problem. That's the problem.
So she didn't know how to speak to the family?
She couldn't speak to the family because the
How
family
was
was
you
English.
speaking to her going to help that?
Right, here's the situation. Anne could talk to her dad and tell her what was wrong with her in French, but he couldn't say that to the family because they didn't speak French and he didn't speak English. So he came to me, who spoke both languages. I went to her, I spoke to her in French, then I passed it on to the family in English. What's wrong with them? I passed that on to him in English, then I passed it back to him in French. Everyone's happy.
Now,
You said that you made a mistake that caused this person to be hospitalised.
That's right, I did, yeah.
What did you do wrong? What did you say wrong?
Yeah.
I said, qu'est-ce qui se passe, qu'est-ce qui se passe, qu'est-ce qui se passe, all that, you know, as you do. And she said, j'ai une angine, j'ai une angine.
Was she stuck in the bell tower? I know what's wrong with her. Is this something to do with her back?
J'ai une angine.
And what is that? What does that mean?
Well, I said, I got the English family on the phone and I said, hey, she's got an angina. She's got angina.
And that's a mistake, right?
Well, angina, I found out later, is a serious heart condition, so she was hospitalised.
But what was wrong with her?
Angine is a sore throat. I didn't know that at the time.
And what happened? Did they then rush her to this hospital?
They called 999 and got her into hospital, yeah.
Nuff, nuff, nuff.
OK, so, Lee, what are you thinking? Could it be true?
I don't think Anne is a French name. That's the one bit in it that I don't believe.
Anne-Marie?
Is she?
Don't know.
What an absolutely amazing answer.
That's one of the funniest things anybody's ever said.
I believe it to be true.
You believe it to be true?
Mm-hmm.
OK.
It was so torturous getting that story out that it has to be the truth.
Yeah.
Lee, you think so too?
It could not be any truer.
Rhod, truth or lie?
Of course, it is true.
I once had a holiday in a Frenchman's garage.
Can I check if this is a euphemism? Seriously, how old were you, roughly? I don't mean go, oh, 17.
38.
30... Oh, this is quite recently.
When it happened?
Yeah.
So you're 38, right?
Yeah.
You're in France. Where was the garage?
France.
Whereabouts in France?
Northern France.
Whereabouts in northern France?
Brittany.
In Britain. So you ended up in Brittany.
Southern Brittany.
Southern Brittany.
Okay.
And you
the northern end of southern Britain.
Right.
Oh, that's just south of mid-Brittany, isn't it?
Mid-Brittany.
Yeah.
What's the name of the town that you were in?
The town where I stayed in the Frenchman's garage
was...
Van.
You're in the van in the garage?
No. The town...
Is this how this mix-up happened? I want a holiday in a van.
Rhod, let me speak to you as another Welshman. Maybe he'll understand me.
Ask me a nice specific question.
Did you book a holiday in a Frenchman's garage?
No, I once had a holiday.
When you arrived in the village or town called Van...
Yeah, Van, yeah.
Did you already know you will be staying in a garage?
No.
Were all the hotels booked?
No. We thought it looked nice in the brochure.
Who did?
Me and my partner.
Partner?
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend?
Now wife.
Blimey, that was a quick 10 seconds.
OK. So you were going to Van.
We went to Van.
Right.
Went to a tourist information place to...
Because you hadn't booked anywhere.
We hadn't booked anywhere.
I'm with you.
Right. What happens at the tourist information place?
They said, what about this place? And we said, that looks nice.
Lovely.
There's a house with a nice pool.
Lovely.
Looked nice in the picture.
Yeah.
So we went there.
So you got there. And when you got there...
It was a garage. The house was nice, but we were in the garage.
Was the garage decked out to look like a room, or was it just spanners and...
It looked like a room with a canoe on the side and a fuse box.
Am I old before my time? But
yes.
At 38, you don't go on a crazy, we're not going to book where we're going. At 38, you want to know where you're going. We've got a nice, comfy room. You know, if it is true, you totally deserve what happened to you.
I didn't say I didn't enjoy it.
So you liked the sort of... It was a deliberate rough
No, it was
and
a
tumble.
disaster.
How long did you stay for in the garage?
2 weeks.
You stayed for 2 weeks? How much did you pay?
It was very reasonable.
I'm surprised. Did it have any windows in the garage?
No.
And you said there was a swimming pool?
Yeah, they had a swimming pool.
You were allowed to use it?
No.
I can't help thinking that what you're describing is more of a hostage scenario. And what about Mrs. Gilbert? She wasn't Mrs. Gilbert then, but how did she react? Because she's looking at you, Rhod, the tall, strapping, handsome Welshman, what everyone dreams of. And you whisked her there. Was there not a little part of her that died that day when she saw what you expected her to
She wasn't very well, if I remember rightly.
Was it carbon monoxide or exhaust fumes? All right, Lee. It's a complex tale. What do your team think?
Absolute lie. It's a lie? Absolutely. Really? Mm-hmm. Based on just the floundering? Absolutely everything.
Like what? All right, it did have windows.
What are you thinking, Hal?
It's like he's throwing in things that seem so ridiculous.
No, but nobody would go and stay in a garage without windows.
But I think
they wouldn't.
You're Kelly Hoppen, though, Kelly. He's Rhod Gilbert. OK, what's it going to be, Lee? Truth or lie?
Lie.
Lie? Lie. Lie. I think it's true, but I'll go with my team and say it's a lie.
You're going to say lie. OK, Rhod. Garage holiday in France. Truth or lie?
Garage holiday in the Frenchman's garage in Van. True.
Yes, it was all true. Rhod did once have a holiday in a Frenchman's garage.
I cannot go on airport travelators. The one and only time I did, I got so freaked out by how superhumanly fast I was walking, I had to be taken to the sick bay to calm down.
Lee, what do you think?
Right. I mean, just how fast would you say you were going?
Superhuman was the word I used.
OK. How fast would you define superhuman? Because I've got my own definition.
Have you? Well, what's yours?
I asked you first.
Let's just say it went very fast, I didn't like it.
So you're saying that you were on it, you had to be escorted off, taken to the sick bay?
I wasn't escorted off, I got off the end and then I sought assistance.
You felt nauseous, did you fall
That's
off?
right, I felt nauseous.
What's the difference between nauseous and nauseous? David, what's the difference between...
Excuse me, you could have asked me. Excuse me!
I'm
a human being!
I'm imagining you'll refer me to David. David, what's the difference between nausea... Is it simply pronunciation?
I think it's simply pronunciation, Rob.
Oh,
yes.
OK. Thank you, David. As you were.
Shall I tell you another thing I don't like? It freaks me out when escalators don't work. You know, when you go up an escalator and you get up and you're exhausted and your legs are burning and you walk, they don't work, it's more tiring than the stairs, yet when you get to the top, you still fly off the end like that. That freaks me out. I don't like that feeling of lack of control. The escalator doesn't work, and yet you still fly off the top. Why is that?
I don't think you do fly off the top. I think that's
No, you do fly off the top,
your
Dave.
brain telling you a
No,
lie.
my brain doesn't tell me anything. It honestly, it does happen.
Rod's brain does not tell him anything.
No.
Is that official, yeah?
What do you mean? It's not my brain telling me I'm
You're
flying
saying that
off the
we're
end.
on at the top of a stationary escalator, you in
Yes.
some way are thrown
Yes.
off the end of it
Yes.
as if it were...
As I described.
That's nothing to do with the electrical motor in the escalator that isn't turned on.
I'm not saying it is.
That's because you're using a certain amount of extra energy in order to go up some stairs.
Yes.
And then suddenly it seems easy to go on the... Well, you'll find that at the top of a normal flight of stairs.
No, you won't.
Yes, you will.
Nobody flies off the top of a normal stairs. Hang on a minute, let's have a go, shall we? Let's give it a little go. Oh, you're right, David. Oh, you're right. You're quite right. What are you on about?
What I'm going to tell you now, Rod, you may not be ready to hear. But the feeling of getting to the top of a normal flight of stairs...
Is not the same.
And the feeling of getting to the top of an escalator that is not turned on...
Rubbish.
...is
Rubbish.
the same.
It's not.
It is the same.
It's not.
It is the
It's
same.
not.
This is madness.
It's not. What you're saying... You started off saying it's
I'm not going to discuss it anymore. I've told you the information. At some point, you will accept it.
Yes.
Rod, you're on this travelator, OK?
I was, yeah.
And you didn't like the fact that you were going so fast. Would that be a fair assessment?
Well, that's exactly what I said, so yes.
Yes. Why didn't you stop walking so you weren't going as fast?
I just don't like the way they kind of bump.
Tell you what,
they kind of shift along. I just don't like that.
Oh, it's the
feeling.
up and down motion.
Well, there's a little cushion padding in it. Yes.
You could have walked backwards and then you'd been standing still.
Yes, I know, but
if you judge the speed right.
All right, but I had a plane to catch, David.
Right. So what do you think, Lee?
Tess, what do you think?
Well, I'm trying to read his body language. because I'm a woman and we do intuition very well. He's very laid back. He seems very committed.
Very committed, very confident, very laid back.
Yes.
What about you,
I just think he's telling the truth.
I think he is.
Thank you, Des.
I think he might be telling the truth.
You're saying true?
Am I?
True.
True. Rhod, truth or lie?
It is a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Of course, Rhod can use airport travelators.
I once dumped my boyfriend on a plane, then parachuted straight out of the door to avoid dealing with the aftermath.
David's team.
Wow. So what was the plane? What was the context?
It was with the army. I was doing a sort of army exercise because I was being taken on by the Royal Engineers as a sapper, a celebrity sapper, and I had to detonate a bomb and all sorts of things. And one of the things was a parachute jump, and my boyfriend came with me sweetly.
Am I the only one who doesn't know what a sapper is?
No.
David,
Sounds like the army.
David has an awareness of the military. What is a
What do you
sapper?
mean I have an awareness of the military? A sapper is a sort of soldier.
Thank you. That's me.
Did you plan on breaking up with your boyfriend
Well,
pre this trip?
It wasn't going well, and I thought I had been trying to work out the exact moment when it would be good, and he really wanted to come with me on the day, and to be honest, I wanted to go on my own because there's just going to be me and about
loads of soldiers.
1,000 soldiers.
We've all had days like that, Anneka.
And as the day progressed, I just got more and more annoyed that he was there. And then we went up in the aeroplane, and he just said, "I don't think things are really going well. You seem a bit distant today." And I just said, "I don't think it's working."
And the man in charge was thinking, I hope she doesn't mean the parachute.
Was he then going to follow you? Was your boyfriend jumping
No,
as
he
well?
didn't have a parachute.
Oh, right.
So he
Well, I hope
didn't.
he didn't just out of instinct follow you. Come back.
Is your love admin, do you think, a reasonable use of our defence budget? I mean... what? I mean,
What was the altitude when you jumped?
I don't know.
Well, they didn't say.
Does 1,000 feet, 15... Who parachutes?
1,000 feet? I would say 8 to 12 or something like that.
8 to 12 feet?
I find that quite challenging. What are you thinking? Is she telling the truth? Did this happen?
Well, I have one problem with this story, which is that if you're thinking you need to, end your relationship, that's potentially an embarrassing, awkward moment, something you might be inclined to put off. And one of the things, if I were you, I might be inclined to put it off until after, is the occasion when I have to jump out of an aircraft. Because
This is why there's never been a popular programme called Challenge David.
Well, yeah, but...
People would set you some brave challenges and you'd very calmly and rationally explain why you couldn't possibly do them.
No, but assuming, hypothetically, that I have agreed to jump out of an aircraft...
Yes.
Yeah.
I would not have that conversation just before I jumped out of the aircraft. I'd think, well, I might, look on the bright side, the fall might kill me, in which case I'd never have to have the conversation.
She did say that she hadn't planned to. It was because he said, you seem a bit distant.
Yes, but not as distant as she seemed a second later as she fell towards the ground.
Samson, what are you thinking?
I can't buy it. I would have just broken up with him on the ground.
I think it's almost certainly true.
Almost certainly true?
Yeah.
So what are you going to say, David?
I think it might be true.
Anneka, jumping out of a plane and breaking up, was it true or was it a lie?
It was a lie.
Yes, it's a lie.
I consider myself a trained vigilante. And
I don't think you need to read anymore.
and enjoy clamping down on passengers who break my strict code of conduct.
David.
OK, what's the code of conduct, Henning?
I just think when you travel on public transport, you have to consider others.
Oh, was it you consider yourself a train vigilante or trained vigilante?
No, train.
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 I thought you said train.
No, I thought you said train.
Yeah.
Would you, for the sake of some of the dimmer panellists, would you read it again, please?
I thought you said trained.
I have to be honest, I thought you said trained as well.
I think maybe you did say trained vigilante. How many people here think he said trained? Yeah!
Could you please
I
read
mean,
it again?
Brexit doesn't make me leave, but you lot definitely. I consider myself a choo-choo vigilante and enjoy clamping down on passengers who break my strict code of conduct.
It's interesting you said clamping down. What would you clamp down on?
What I would consider out of orderness.
So can we just run a couple past you?
Yeah.
Someone with their feet up on the seat.
They might get a stern look.
Okay.
What else don't you like? Give him another example.
So imagine I'm sitting there. Imagine I'm sort of a large, threatening figure.
My God, David, give us a minute. Oh.
And I'm playing some, some frightening popular music. Yeah, absolutely. Some Rachmaninoff. And it's very loud on my phone there in front of me. What do you say to me?
I'll do the music, right? You can nod your head, and you, Henning, can walk over and tell him. OK? So first of all...
What I do is...
I haven't started the music yet.
Rachmaninoff, yeah?
It's Rap-maninoff.
Try and speed it up.
And... Rob, that's beatboxing, that's not rap. Sorry. Am I right?
I get up in the morning and I have some tea. I like to drink some tea.
That's not rapping either.
And that's not... And also, rhyming is not the same if you just use the same words twice. I like to have some tea because I like to have tea.
Wow. I was under a lot of pressure.
You ever thought of doing the new Eminem film? You could have a proper battle.
If I see a really imposing figure...
Well, let's send it for now. Just take it.
I'll have a look what the numbers are and the rest of the carriage. How confident I am. Nah, he's too big.
All right, Kiri, do you think that Henning's been telling the truth?
No. No, of course not. I think it would take a lot of confidence to walk over to someone on any train carriage and just say to a stranger, be quiet. I don't think... I mean, it's a nice possible way. I don't think you've got it in you.
I agree with Kiri. I think probably not, actually.
You think not? I think we don't think it's true.
No.
You're going to say it's a lie?
Yeah.
OK. Henning, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, this story is true.
It's Lee.
Last year, I bought a suit of armour from an antique shop. Then had to wear it home on the train because it was easier than carrying it.
David's team.
OK. Where was the antiques shop?
It was in a street near Leicester Square. There's a little side passage full of antique shops and the like.
Were you planning to buy a suit of armour that day?
Absolutely not. I mean, who does?
Why did you buy it?
Well, there was people firing arrows at me. They're on fire. What are you supposed to do?
So
we've all done it. We've all been to London.
Were you planning...
Watch a show, have a kebab, then it starts, doesn't it?
Were you planning to buy an antique that day?
No, I was not planning to buy anything, but I've always fancied a suit of armour.
What sort of suit of armour was it? From what era? From what...
Oh, it was a proper original one from the 1950s.
Was it a sort of theatrical prop, perhaps?
That's exactly what it was. It was from a show...
Yes.
In the West End.
In the West End. What was it called?
It might have been A Room for Two Nights. And this was just one of the costumes. I don't know where the other one went. It was on display. I went in, I looked at it, and I said, is this for sale? He said, no, but if you make me an offer, I might consider it. I made him the offer, he considered it. And then he said, now let's get back to buying the costume. And then I got excited with my purchase. So I said, I'll take it now. He said, it's heavy. I said, I think I can manage. And he jokingly said, you could always wear it home. And I thought, hang on. That's not only a purchase, that's a story for Would I Lie to You?
So I said, do you mind if I get changed and I'll go home in it? He said, all right then. And that's what happened. I got changed and out I went like that.
How long is your entire journey, door to door, from the shop to your home?
Well, usually in normal clothes, it's about, I'd say it's about an hour.
Yeah.
This took 3.5 days.
What do you think? Is he telling the truth?
I think it's a lie. I would love it to be true, but it's a lie.
You can't get underground with a load of shopping bags.
So AJ thinks it's a lie. Joel thinks it's a lie. I think, David, you're thinking it might be true?
It's a lie.
Oh, God, no. No, I think it's a lie.
Lee, truth or lie?
It is, in fact, a lie.
Yay!
Yes, it's a lie. Lee didn't wear a suit of armour on the train post. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. It's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, David. So, Joe Lycett, what is David to you?
This is my neighbour, David, and last year, to save money, we time-shared a Christmas tree.
Ruth, how do you know David?
This is David, and he walked into a charity shop just as I was donating the gift he'd given me a few days earlier.
Right, Ruth's charitable chum. And finally, David, what is your relationship with David?
This is David, and when my daughter lost her beloved toy rabbit, we held up a train so I could board it and grab it.
So there we have it. Lee's team, where would you like to begin?
Joe, next-door neighbour?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, why aren't you just buying your own Christmas tree?
Well, David and I decided to save a bit of money. We knew David was going away on Christmas Eve, so he wasn't going to use the Christmas tree after that point. I was working pretty much up until Christmas, so we thought it was a good idea that we
So he got it from the 1st of December?
He got it on the 12th to the 24th. Then I had it from the 24th to the 1st. I got rid of it on the 1st.
And did you take it decorated?
Yeah.
Just in one, like that, and just plonk it in your house?
So that's why we won't do it again, because we worked out that the savings that we made from sharing the cost of the tree, which was about 60 quid, we saved that, but the amount of baubles that we lost in the transit.
And this was all about saving £30?
Yes.
But, you know, you're doing all right.
David's not.
What was your Christmas setup after the 24th? Did you have people staying with you?
They didn't stay, but they came for Christmas dinner.
For the day?
Oh, you remember they came to watch EastEnders?
Yeah.
You had a big row with them, don't you remember?
We had a big row, yeah.
Right, who would you like to question next?
Ruth. Yes. Can you remind us of your...
David's my cousin, and he walked into a charity shop just as I was donating the gift he'd given me a few days earlier.
What was the gift?
What was the gift, first of all?
Right, it's one of those, you know, them really ugly porcelain pig things that open.
Huh?
You know them on...
Cookie jar?
Yeah, but smaller than a cookie jar. Not big enough for a cookie jar, so you couldn't even use it for that.
So, sorry, you've gone into the charity shop to get rid of this pig thing?
That's the only words that can
Your cousin's
describe it.
walked in?
Yeah.
And gone, taking a pig for a walk? What are you doing with a pig?
I didn't expect him to be there.
Did you carry on with the process of, like, let's get rid...
Yeah, talk us through exactly what happened after he walks in.
Right, David came in because he saw me. There was absolutely no other reason for him to go in the charity shop. You could tell he was really upset, but without wanting
But
to...
did he mention... What did he say?
He went, oh, what are you doing? Like, he just pointed at this pig that I'm holding.
Yeah.
And I panicked, so I said, look, I didn't want to tell you at the time, but I've already got one.
Ah. So when did he actually find out the truth, then?
So I had to call David and tell him I was coming on Would I Lie to You? And I can't stand the thought of hurting anyone's feelings.
So you thought you'd bring him on national television and humiliate him?
No. We've since spoke, and he's lovely.
Right. Now, Lee, what about David? David, remind us of your claim and your statement.
This is David, and he helped me board a train to rescue a rabbit.
First of all, where were you going from?
I was going from London to Cardiff.
With your wife and child?
Exactly.
Was you going there for a reason?
What do you mean by that? You're going to have a reason to go to Cardiff? Oh, you come down here with your cockney patter. People go to Cardiff just because they want to visit it.
Sorry, mate.
Did you like it there, David?
It was very nice.
Did you like
Obviously,
it?
I'd put Carlisle into the train app, so...
Talk us through what happened.
Well, what happened? We got on the train, and this rabbit called Pink Rabbit. It's a pink rabbit.
What's it called?
She calls it Pink Rabbit.
That's it. She's got your sort of creativity.
Thank you. And it's her second favourite cuddly toy.
Who's the favourite?
The favourite is another rabbit. He's called Wiggles.
Wiggles?
Oh, OK.
Aww.
But Wiggles never leaves the house.
Oh, has he got an asbo?
It's better we always know where Wiggles is.
Oh, OK.
But Pink Rabbit is the favourite of the toys she will take out of the house.
How had you acquired the rabbit? Where did the rabbit come from?
It was probably a Christmas present at some point. But the thing is, it was around for a couple of years. Among the various, she's got lots of toy rabbits and that sort of thing. And then suddenly, and I'm not quite sure why, Pink Rabbit came to favour. It was like Stalin emerging as the front runner of the Politburo. You know,
Are you still doing the bedtime stories?
He wasn't the obvious successor to Lenin, but then a few years later, suddenly he's in charge. So Pink Rabbit has had a meteoric rise.
Right. Yeah. You get off the train at Cardiff.
Exactly.
And when do you realise the rabbit's gone?
When we've got to the hotel and my wife realises, and a look of...
She's married to you and has a breakdown.
Thank you. As always, you've made it so Christmassy. But then she sort of takes me aside and says, I don't think we've got Pink Rabbit.
At no point has your daughter made any reference to this rabbit, even though it's her favourite rabbit.
I know. The thing is, when we got on the train, my daughter said, can we get Pink Rabbit out of the bag? I want to have Pink Rabbit with me on the train. And it was my strong view that was a bad idea. That we should keep Pink Rabbit in the bag where we know where Pink Rabbit is and only get Pink Rabbit out when we get to Cardiff. But no, I was overruled. It was apparently fine, and she would keep an eye on Pink Rabbit and not forget about Pink Rabbit.
OK.
So, your wife said to you, Pink Rabbit's gone.
Yeah.
Do you phone the train station? Because Pink Rabbit's on the way back to London.
No.
No?
No. Pink Rabbit is on the way to Swansea.
Yeah.
Where it is going to turn round and then head back to London via, and here's the loophole...
The Lake District.
No. Via Cardiff. The train is coming back via Cardiff.
So you know now where the train is headed. So what do you decide to do?
We go to Cardiff station... in order to get on it and look for Pink Rabbit.
But you said a cuddly toy.
Oh, yes.
How many children do you have?
One.
Well, of course, classic only child scenario. I've got 5. I would have said the rabbit's dead. Get on with your life. So what happened?
Well, we went to the station.
Yeah.
David was in the sort of glass room / booth next to the barriers.
It's nice that he's brought it with him.
We went up to him and said, look, we haven't got tickets for the train, but we don't want to get on the train. We want to go and retrieve a toy rabbit. And he looked quite stern and severe and then nodded and went, yeah, that's fine. And it was a wonderful moment of possibility.
Right. So then what happened?
The train comes into the station. My wife goes to the front of the train to talk to the driver.
She's such a flirt.
And we've worked out where our carriage would be coming in.
Yes.
I get on the right carriage to look for Pink Rabbit, and as it turned out, thankfully find Pink Rabbit, and then get off the train.
The bit we haven't heard yet is that if you have specifically said, I don't think the rabbit should leave the bag, and then you get to the hotel and she says, oh, we haven't got the rabbit. How did that conversation go?
Well, what can I say? I'm a hell of a guy.
But what did you actually say?
I did not say, I told you so.
You didn't say I told you so?
I did not say I
you
told you so.
You might not have said it with your mouth. Did you say it with your eyes?
Oh, well, I can't
Did you go...
affect that, can I? Can't affect what they're doing. They're always admonishing everyone. No, I didn't say that because I knew my wife would already have been thinking it. It was not necessary for me to say those words because they were already in her brain.
So be honest.
And at some point she is going to say, "You told me so," for me, as indeed she subsequently did. And that is when a relationship is working.
We need an answer. So, Lee's team, is David Joe's frugal friend, Ruth's charitable chum, or David's rabbit rescuer?
This is a tough one. I mean, Ruth is... It's not likely, is it?
No, I don't think that's likely.
I'm genuinely torn between David and Joe. I don't know.
I've been in the same situation and lost a teddy bear at the airport, and I was gutted, cried for ages. I'm going to go with David, because I've been there.
I have also been there, so I do feel that this could be true.
I'm aware of, like, how emotionally damaging these situations can be, and for that reason, we didn't buy our children any toys. So it's hard to know.
Fair enough.
Really.
Yeah.
Joe, what did you think? What's
David,
it going to be?
Go with David.
I'll go with David.
We'll go with David.
I'm going to say that David held up the train. OK. David, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm David, and David and I rescued his daughter's rabbit.
Yes, David is David's rabbit rescuer. Thank you very much, David. Donna. So, Charlie first. What is Donna to you?
This is Donna, who's teaching me basic home maintenance.
All right. Lee, what is Donna to you?
This is Donna, and she saved my life when she threw me a lifebelt after I fell off my boat.
OK. Michael, what is Donna to you?
This is Donna. She has been my #1 superfan since she was 17. She even has a toilet seat cover with my face on it.
Michael has a fan. David's team, who would you like to start with?
Michael, when did you start your relationship with your fan?
I have a relationship with most of my fans.
How did you get to know Donna?
Yeah.
I've seen her at the front of crowds of audiences that have come and waited at stage doors, and you sign autographs, and you stop and you have a chat.
Some shows only Donna turns up.
Only Donna is there.
So what makes Donna your #1 fan?
Well, a number of things. I released a charity single, and so she went and bought them all in a shop and then sold them on at her school.
Isn't that illegal?
Open-air concerts, she'll always try and be the first down the front, so she'll go into training prior to the gig so that she can get there first.
Do you have, like, a #2 fan and a #3 fan?
Well, it's no. No, everyone's #1.
Charlie, what sort of home maintenance tips are you being given?
Very, very basic ones. My home's a mess, and I'm not very good at sort of maintaining, looking after anything in my house. So an ex-girlfriend paid for me to have these lessons where I basically learned... It's basic stuff.
Do you mean like how to change a plug?
Yes, well, yes, that was one of the first things we did. Right. I've only, to be honest, I've only gone 3 times, and
where do you go? Where do you go?
Gone where?
Yeah. It's just in a community centre down the road.
Are you doing it for a magazine article?
No. No, I'm doing it because I'm a pathetic human being.
Charlie, what is the first rule of Home Maintenance Club?
You don't talk about Home Maintenance Club.
Lee, tell us the story of your boating trip. Where was the boat?
The boat was on the River Thames.
Were you by yourself?
Well, I was actually with my dog and one other person.
Why does the dog come first?
What?
Right.
Why does the dog come first? That's exactly what my wife says.
Right.
Why do you introduce me like that all the time, Lee? This is my dog Pickles and one other person.
Who was the other person?
My wife.
How fast a boat is this? I'm not a boat expert.
Well, it's a twin-engine, 28-foot Furline Sun Fury, and as we all know, they can go up to 45 knots, but on the Thames, as we all know, you can't break 6 knots. Just to give you an idea of how fast 6 knots is, if someone is walking beside you and you wave to them, you're committed to it for about 2 hours.
Right. And how did you fall in?
Well, I was actually trying to go round the side of the boat to undo the gas canister at the front so we could make a cup of tea, and I went down the side and slipped.
Why didn't your wife try to save you?
Yeah. She can't swim.
And what's Donna got to do with it? She hasn't appeared yet in this story. yes.
Well, Donna was on another boat coming the other way, and I slipped in, and then she just threw me the ring.
And she did
So
what?
your wife, because she can't swim, also won't throw you a life vest?
So what do you say? What is she?
Trini?
I think when Donna came in, the only person who didn't look at her was the guy in the middle.
His name is Lee Mack.
Yeah. Trini!
He's a popular comedian.
Will you stop treating me like staff?
No, I can't decide between Michael and Lee.
I don't believe Lee would go boating very much. And
why wouldn't I go boating very much?
Just doesn't suit you.
Why? All right, then she saved me when I was trying to chase after a whippet.
Reese, do you have any suspicions which way this should go?
I think that Lee is telling the truth.
You think Lee?
Yeah.
OK,
let's
your
go
answer?
with Lee.
OK, Donna, would you reveal your true identity?
I'm Michael's #1 fan.
Yes. Look at this. Oh, you got it. We say congratulations to Donna, and thank you very much indeed for coming, Donna. Thank you. It's David Mitchell.
When I was 12, I saved up all my pocket money and bought a rowing boat that I never used.
Right. How much was the boat?
I think it was about £120.
Oh. How much did you make pocket money a week?
Oh, £2 grand, something like that. No, I can't remember, but I think it would be something like £1.
Whoa. You earned £1 a week pocket money.
Yeah.
The boat was £120.
Yeah. You know, I had the occasional windfall.
Christmas. What's the windfall? Oh, I see.
Christmas
What,
and
like
birthdays.
lottery?
Christmas and birthdays, and the other festival only our family did.
Where were you planning to go in this boat?
I planned to sort of row around in it when on holiday.
And how did you propose to get it on holiday? You had your eye on a nice Ford Fiesta with a tow bar.
No. At that age, I would often holiday with my parents.
Who should I holiday with this year? Parents! I'm telling you.
It seemed to go tremendously well before.
Parents, I've got a proposal for you.
And what stopped the plan?
Basically, the boat was a bit too big.
A bit too big for what? The sea? Every time I pushed it into the water, it kept hitting France. I can't get it into the... Try it sideways, David! Where did you keep it?
It was, I think, in our front garden.
You think?
Yeah.
Did you ever sit in the boat in the front garden, pretending with a knotted hanky?
So, which way are you going to go with it? Truth or lie?
What do we think, Katie?
I sort of, I think it's true.
I'm going to go for a lie.
I would say that it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie. OK. David, truth or lie?
It is true.
Yes, it's true. When David was 12, he did spend all his pocket money on a rowing boat that he never used. Interestingly, David is one of the few people to own a boat they can never use who hasn't been a contestant on Bullseye. So please welcome this week's special guest, Maria. So, Ronan, what is Maria to you?
This is Maria. She is the Boys' Own competition winner that 20 years ago won the duvet from my bed.
Tough. How do you know Maria?
So, this is Maria. She works for my new business venture, selling clip-on earrings for dogs.
And finally, David, what is your relationship with Maria?
This is Maria, and she once gave me a ginger nut when I when I came over all queasy on a glass-bottomed boat.
Lee's team, where will you begin?
Well, we'll begin with Ronan, I think. So she won your duvet 20 years ago. First of all, what was the competition? What was it? Was it on a TV show?
It was my 21st birthday, and it was a radio show. And on the radio show, we did a competition to give away my duvet.
Was it actually your duvet, or did you just buy a duvet?
It was actually my duvet.
Sorry, just to be clear, do you mean the duvet or the duvet cover, or both?
It was all of it.
You can't just... Oh, you mean all the horrible old manky duvet bit that's inside it? Full of coffee stains and others.
What did she have to do? So it's a radio show. They're going, very good morning to you. You're going to be... your chance today to win Ronan Keating's duvet.
I was in Ireland. It was in Ireland.
Sorry?
It was in Ireland.
Sorry, Ronan, he's got a limited range.
Oh, sorry.
The only chance you've got is if Ronnie Corbett co-hosted.
What did she have to do?
It was a competition. People had to send me a birthday card.
Right.
And I would pick one of the birthday cards out.
So tell us how it worked. Talk us through it.
We were actually doing the show live from my house on my birthday. And...
now it's... nice detail.
They came to the house. Yeah.
Right.
And so we did it from there. So they wanted an item from my house.
So they just had to send you a birthday card, and you would choose the best. And how did you judge the picture? What was it?
We put the cards in the washing machine.
You put the cards
in the washing machine.
In the washing machine.
So, and we spun it around a bit, and then I put my hand in and I took a card out, and it was Maria's.
Did you sign it, the duvet?
I did.
Was it a single or a double?
It was a double.
Did they have buttons along the top or the side?
Down the end.
Right, you're lying. Nobody would know that. Nobody would remember that. Everyone knows that. How else do you think they get the duvet in and out?
Duvet from 20 years ago?
Well, from whatever era, it has to have buttons on it to get the duvet in and out.
No, sometimes the buttons are down the side. You said it was on the end. You'd never remember where
it depends on which way you turn it.
No.
Side.
They're always at the bottom. No,
buttons are never down the side. Never.
I think I know what's happening here. I think you've got the duvet the wrong way round.
Yes.
That's your question. Do you find, when you're sleeping at night, that your neck and knees and toes get very cold?
Let's move on. Who would you like to question next?
Let's go with Toff. Toff, you are claiming what?
So Maria basically runs the production of my new business venture, making clip-on earrings for dogs.
OK. How's that going?
Well...
Are you going for a particular breed, or is it for any dogs?
No, it's for any dogs, but we've had to be quite careful about the clasps, because obviously dogs' ears are quite thin.
Yeah.
We've got 10 different styles.
Oh, go through them all quickly.
So, oh, God, actually all of them. I'm not sure that's embarrassing.
Do you want to change it to 3?
We've got 2 pearl ones. We've got, like, a small one, and then a longer one.
Oh, you're going to get through the 10 like that, are you? Then we've got a medium-sized pearl. Then we've got a very large pearl one. Basically, we've got 10 sizes of pearl.
If I wanted to put an earring on my schnauzer, how would I go about it?
Well, the company's called Dog and Sloan. Get it?
Dog and Sloan, I like that. That's very good.
I wanted Bone Ranger, but it was already taken, which is
yes,
that's my website, isn't it?
What does Maria do for your business, and how did you recruit her?
I found her on... it's called Radio HP. Have you heard of it? It's like Gumtree for posh people.
It's like what?
Gumtree for posh people.
Right.
It is. What did the advert say?
It just said, work based in Battersea, production manager.
Battersea, because you think they'd be good clients, though?
Yeah.
Captive audience, literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because that's what homeless dogs are looking for. Priority, isn't it? Who's looking for a new home, then? No. I'm looking for a new pearl drop. They do an array of size of pearls, apparently. How big is this business going to be that you're going to have people?
Maria's one of 4.
She's one of 4 staff members that are working for you.
I'm not joking.
Okay?
I promise.
One of 4.
Oh, you promised? Well, why didn't you say? Oh, I didn't know you were promising. Oh, that's a whole different ballgame. Oh, we don't need to ask anymore, because we don't need to ask David. It's tough. She's telling the truth, because she's promised, doesn't she?
What about David?
OK, remind us, David, of your...
Well, Maria gave me a ginger nut.
Oh, yeah.
When I came over all queasy on a glass-bottomed boat.
I've known you long enough, David, to know that you would not accept a ginger nut from a stranger.
Where were you in the world?
I was near the island of Capri in Italy.
Who were you with, David?
I was on my own.
On your
You were
own?
on your own?
Yeah.
On holiday on your own?
No, my wife and child had consented to join me on a holiday.
Why were you queasy?
Because of the undulation of the boat caused by the action of the sea.
Nothing to do with the glass bottom, then? It wasn't because...
Well, I think it might have been something to do with the glass bottom, because one thing they tell you not to do if you're suffering from motion sickness in a boat or a car, they tell you don't just stare at the floor. If you've paid to go for a ride on a glass-bottomed boat, you're wasting your money if you just stare at the horizon, which you can do from the land. The whole point of the glass-bottomed boat is to look straight at the bottom of the boat, which is, ironically, the very action that will make you nauseous. And so I say it's a design fault.
What was Maria doing on the boat?
Glass-bottomed boats are for tourists, really. They're not used much in international freight. So we were all of us on the boat, really, apart from the driver, was there in a capacity of a tourist.
And she came prepared for the trip with some ginger nuts?
Yes.
We all do. Who doesn't go sailing without ginger nuts?
Well, me.
Well, ginger nuts are... That's what they recommend. I just recently did a programme with the Navy, and that's what they recommended. Ginger nuts, they swear by them for travel sickness, for motion sickness.
Do they?
Absolutely.
Ginger nut biscuits?
They do.
So she said to you, let me offer you a ginger nut. Did Maria say anything else? What was the exchange then?
She said, I can't really remember, but she said...
What, you just ignored her? You took the ginger? You went, thanks very much. Is that what you did?
Yeah, well, I mean, that is how my face is, so, you know...
Right, we need an answer. So, Lee's team. Is Maria Ronan's bedding buddy, Toff's doggy designer, or David's seasick Samaritan?
Well, I think Toff's out.
Is she?
Yeah, surely, right? No one's buying doggy earrings.
Well, I think as upsetting and disgusting as it is,
yeah,
it's Ronan.
I don't
Far more
find it
upsetting.
Ronan's?
No.
Don't you?
As, like, a 12-year-old girl, I would have loved to have won Mark Owen's duvet.
Yeah.
That would look like a flannel.
What about David?
Well, you see, David, nauseous, on a boat, no one was gone with him. It's all ringing true, isn't it?
So let's make a decision.
It's Ronan.
Ronan. We'll go for it.
You're going to say it's Ronan? OK. Maria, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Maria, and I won Ronan Keating's duvet.
Yes, Maria did win Ronan's duvet, and she has kept it all those years, and it's here.
Which side does it? Open!
Oh, yeah. Well, he signed it. That's nice.
Yeah.
And just clarify, there was never a cover.
There was never a cover.
Never a cover.
You cheapskate.
Which is different to their albums, which was full of covers.
There you go. Nice. Hello, Maria.
Come on, 2 years later, how are you? Nice to see you.
Now that's how you treat your fans, Lee. And this is your most treasured possession.
Yes,
Well, that's... And where's it been for all these years?
the attic.
In the attic. Really treasured. Well, Maria, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Safe trip home. Lovely, thank you for coming.
Thank you
Maria.
very much.